tuning in the sun. This is TFM. Get ready to rock. From AM to PM. Come on. Let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for today. Oman's humanitarian efforts take center stage during the COVID-19 pandemic. Scrapping of NOC will reduce wage and rights gap in Oman. Rules for reopening kindergarten worked on by Ministry and UNICEF. Exhibition showcases heritage of Oman through stunning pictures. WHO investigators visit Wuhan Institute of Virology. UK pandemic fundraising hero Tom Moore dies with coronavirus. Amazon's Jeff Bezos to step down later this year. Panth Root named as nominees for ICC Men's Player of the Month. Host begins next session. Shastri welcomes squad with rousing address. Those were the headlines for today. On our show today, we'll also be joined by His Excellency Munu Mahawar, the Indian ambassador to the Sultanate. But first, let's take a look at the weather updates.
Hi, my name is Maitha Al-Shukeli for today's weather update. And right now, I'm outside the TFM studio in Al Khuwair. Before we move on to weather, here is our fact for the day. You can actually use pine cones to forecast the weather. The scales will begin to close when rain is on the way. That is our fact for the day. Now let's step inside the studio and talk more about weather. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities saying that there will be poor visibility during fog formation, and there will be mainly clear skies over the rest of the Sultanate with chances of early morning low-level clouds or fog patches over the parts of Al-Wusta, Al-Dhahira, Al-Dakhiliya, South Al-Sharqiyya and Al-Buraymi. And now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 18 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 24 to 15 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 16 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 16 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 13 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 26 to 14 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 28 to 15 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 28 to 15 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 26 to 17 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 28 to 15 degrees Celsius. And the Far will also be sunny, temperatures between 29 to 20 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 updates. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 0 new COVID-19 deaths, keeping the total death toll at 1,532. The Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 171 new COVID-19 cases, taking the total cases in the Sultanate to 134,856. In the past 24 hours, there have been 115 recoveries, and the total number of recoveries now stand at 127,169. The ministry has urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. Those are the COVID-19 updates. Now for the local stories. Setting up a fund to support Oman's health services, providing free COVID treatment to Omanis and expatriates in the country, organizing a hotline for people to report cases of infection, and bringing home Omani nationals stranded overseas are some of the efforts of the government that have been praised by the Oman Human Rights Commission in its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Commission also personally intervened in 70 instances of people who required emergency assistance in 2020 owing to the pandemic. These were related to providing help in the form of housing, family support, resolving labor disputes, child welfare, urgent healthcare, and many others. The OHRC, in its annual report, also saw the formation of the Supreme Committee to deal with COVID-19 and the pardoning of foreign prisoners so that they could return to their home countries during the pandemic. Reserving special praise for His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, the Commission said the following. The establishment of the fund came as an important initiative to support the steps taken by the government and the Central Bank of Oman in this field. His Majesty the Sultan donated Omani Riyal 10 million to the fund, which also receives donations from institutions and individuals. The royal orders of His Majesty to curb the spread of the pandemic, achieve social solidarity, and maintain the health of individuals and society were also appreciated. Cancelling the No Objection Certificate or NOC in Oman will help increase competitiveness between Omani and expatriate workers by decreasing the current gap in wages and benefits that currently exist, the Oman Human Rights Commission has said. The No Objection Certificate was cancelled after the Royal Oman Police issued decision number 157 by 2020, which amended some rules of the Foreigners' Residence Law following Oman's accession to the International Covenant of Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, which was covered under Royal Decree number 46 by 2020. The decision is also consistent with the economic and social principles mentioned in the Basic Law of the state. This decision is expected to bring many benefits to the employers, including introducing contracts that will regulate contractual relations between employers and workers, OHRC said. Such contracts will guarantee the rights and duties of both parties. This contract provides protection for employees' confidential information and will ensure that such information will be protected if the employer desires to shift to another employer. It added the implementation of this decision will also enhance the competitiveness between Omanis and expats by reducing the wage and rights gap between them. The OHRC said that the decision is expected to support the Sultanate's efforts in combating illicit trade and will pave the ground for starting a new working relationship between both the employer and the worker. Protocols for kindergartens and nurseries to reopen in Oman have been laid out by the Ministry of Social Development in collaboration with the UNICEF. Laila Ahmed Al-Najjar, the Minister of Social Development, met with Ted Shaiban, UNICEF's regional director for the Middle East and North Africa, to discuss the safety protocols needed to allow young children to go back to school. We recommended that children get their temperature taken at the entrance of schools and that they are segregated into groups of, say, 5, so that whatever happens to those only affect those 5, said Shaiban in an exclusive interview with Times of Oman. We're training teachers so that they get used to wearing masks all day and washing their hands regularly, and for a teacher to always supervise these children while they are playing, he added. He added that of the 110 million children in the Middle East and North Africa, 40% of them do not have access to adequate facilities to learn remotely, which make it very important for kindergartens, nurseries, and early learning centers to reopen. The meeting between the ministry and the UNICEF touched on the document of the Unified Procedures of Operation and the executive plan to reopen nurseries. It also reviewed forming teams of monitoring, follow-up, and evaluation in different governorates of the Sultanate to ensure the commitment of nurseries to precautionary and preventive measures. UNICEF's regional director praised the Sultanate's experience in terms of the operational procedures adopted after the decision to reopen during the COVID-19 pandemic for the health and safety of children and staff. Photography, art, and history lovers are sure to enjoy the new exhibition organized to showcase Oman's heritage, culture, and natural beauty. The event, which is being held by the Photographic Society of Oman in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth, will run until 11th February 2021 at the former's headquarters in Al Seed. You are invited to view 26 different pictures shot by 26 young Omani male and female photographers, said the ministry in a statement. The exhibition features 11 Omanis who are recipients of medals from the International Federation of Photographic Art, FIAP, as well as submissions from 15 photographers who are new members of the Photographic Society of Oman. The ministry also added, through this new exhibition, you will know more about the meaning of Oman culture in everyday life. The exhibition runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day until the 11th of February. As I mentioned earlier, on our show today, we will be joined by the Indian Ambassador to Oman, His Excellency Munu Mahawar. A very good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon. Warm greetings to
Let me
all the
begin
viewers.
by thank you so much, and let me begin by just saying that it's an absolute privilege for us to have you on the show today.
And I am also delighted to join you again.
So first thing first, congratulations on the 72nd Republic Day. It was celebrated last week. Could you tell us a little bit about how the celebrations were this time, considering the pandemic?
Thank you for your greetings. Celebrating National Day is always a matter of great pride and satisfaction. This year, Republic Day, well, because we were celebrating it in the middle of pandemic, and therefore, while there was great fervor, still we could not get together, which is usually the practice for us to celebrate national days in Oman. We had to do it virtually. In the embassy, we organized a small gathering of embassy officials for the flag hoisting ceremony, but it was telecast live, and a large number of people were able to join us virtually. At the same time, I say we were celebrating this Republic Day with a sense of optimism and hope, because today we feel confident that we will be able to overcome this great crisis which the entire world is facing. As our president said in his message, India today stands not despondent but confident. So this was the feeling with which we celebrated. And let me also take this opportunity to thank His Majesty Sultan Haitham and Government of Oman for taking care of the Indian community. Let me also thank the media houses, particularly Times of Oman, for bringing out special supplements on this special occasion.
Definitely. Well, it was grand in its own way, I'm sure.
And of course, you couldn't have missed the special lighting we had done on the embassy.
Yes.
It was lit up, which was a very special feeling.
Grand in its own way, as I said. So, Your Excellency, moving to the main topic of discussion today, the 100,000 vaccine doses that were sent from India to Oman. That was definitely a very commendable gesture. Could you tell us a little bit about it? Of course, thank you for facilitating the entire process.
Well, we are really happy to be able to support the efforts of Government of Oman, our close friend and partner, in the fight against pandemic. From the very beginning, India's approach under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi in this fight against COVID has been guided by the philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We look at the entire world as one family, and we have been supporting various friends and partners through supply of medicine, through sending our medical professionals. And then at the UN, Prime Minister Modi made this commitment that India's vaccine capabilities will be made available to the entire humanity. And in line with this commitment, we have been providing gifts to our close friends and partners. But we are also supplying to other countries on commercial basis. Oman, of course, is a very special friend, and as a gesture of goodwill, we have supplied these 100,000 vaccines as a gift. And as I said, we are really happy to be able to support Oman's efforts to fight against COVID, and we remain committed to continue working very closely with the government and people of Oman in this endeavor.
Your Excellency, as you rightly said, we're all one big family and we're all in this fight together. So we'll definitely make it through.
Absolutely.
Your Excellency, of course, 2021 comes with new tasks. So what has been outlined for the welfare of the Indian nationals this year?
Well, of course, our immediate priority remains to support the community in this difficult time. There are various issues that the community faces relating to COVID, whether it is because of loss of jobs, loss of livelihood, or relating to restrictions in movement. Fortunately, we have been able to work very closely with the government of Oman and address these issues. So by and large, the community is in a comfortable position. And again, as I said, we are now looking to the future with a sense of hope and optimism. The vaccines are there, so it's a matter of time when normalcy would return. But until then, we are advising, sensitizing the community members to keep taking precautions. We are extending whatever support they require. And also, a section of the community is making use of the amnesty scheme which the government of Oman has launched. So we continue to support those people who wish to make use of the amnesty scheme and return to India. We are supporting them as well.
And Your Excellency, have there been any significant challenges, anything that you would like to mention that the Indian Embassy is facing amidst the pandemic?
Well, first and foremost is our inability to meet in person in large numbers, interact with the community members, which has always been very special element, integral part of our engagements with the community. That is the main issue, but technology has come to rescue. We are able to interact virtually with them. Apart from that, of course, there are economic issues where we need to really refocus. We have to start looking towards the future. So, but by and large, I would say the embassy team has been able to continue functioning smoothly, and we are happy about that.
Your Excellency, you also mentioned job losses earlier. Another problem was that a lot of people weren't able to pay school fees. Now, yes, the Indian government is supporting them a lot. They're taking a lot of initiatives. Could you tell us what has the response been from the people with all the initiatives that you've been taking?
So our effort has been to provide support at two levels. The first level is within Oman. We have taken measures to provide some relief in terms of not charging additional elements in the school fee, giving concessions, exempting fee altogether for those students whose parents are in really difficult position. Apart from that, we have been providing food assistance. We provided that particularly during the initial months of the COVID. We have been facilitating repatriation, return of these people who have lost jobs. But beyond that, our support is now also for helping them in resettling. The Indian workers in Oman, they carry with them great skills. So when they go back, their skills are of great use, great value to the nation. And in many cases, we are also going to upskill them. So the government has launched a scheme, a program under which skill mapping of all those who are returning to India is being done, and then they are being either reskilled, upskilled, or if they are ready to be absorbed as they are, we are finding ways to make use of their skills.
Those are some very well thought initiatives. And Your Excellency, my final question, what is the plan for the coming months? Something that we should all know about.
Well, for the coming month, immediately, of course, our focus will remain on continue working closely with the government of Oman, with our community, to provide whatever support is necessary in the fight against COVID. But we also have to start working on our engagements, our cooperation in the post-COVID world. And I see huge opportunities for India and Oman to expand our cooperation, particularly in the economic field. And there are huge opportunities. I say this often that India can be a strong partner for Oman in all priority areas of its Vision 2040. And we see Oman as an important partner in our campaign to become self-reliant. So we have started engaging with people to see how we can really scale up our engagement in post-COVID world.
That's good to hear. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you for all the efforts you've taken, all your initiatives, and thank you for joining us on the show today.
Always a pleasure. Once again, best wishes to all your viewers.
Have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the Indian ambassador to the Sultanate, His Excellency Munu Mahawar, telling us about the strong ties that India and Oman share. On that note, we'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Coming up are the international stories. World Health Organization investigators visited the Wuhan Institute of Virology on Wednesday as a team of experts continue to seek answers in their pursuit of the origins of the coronavirus pandemic. COVID-19 was first identified in China's central city of Wuhan in December 2019, and the WHO team, led by virus expert Peter Ben Emmerich, arrived at the heavily guarded laboratory at around 9:30 a.m. local time. Reporters followed the WHO investigators to the facility, but as with past visits, there was no direct access to the team of experts. Security guards paid close attention to onlookers and journalists in particular amid thick morning fog. The Wuhan Institute of Virology has been subject to several conspiracy theories that suggest the leak could have caused the city's first outbreak of COVID-19. Most scientists reject the notion, but some have speculated that a virus captured from the wild could have figured in experiments at the lab before escaping via an infected member of staff. The 100-year-old British Army veteran Captain Tom Moore, who raised millions of pounds to help Britain's health service in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic last year, on Tuesday passed away with coronavirus in the hospital. In a statement confirming his death, his daughter said that he had been suffering from pneumonia during the past weeks and tested positive for COVID-19. He had been taken to a hospital in Bedfordshire, East England, when he needed help with his breathing. His family said they were with him on Monday night during the last hours of his life. Moore, who turned 100 last April, raised more than £32 million for Britain's National Health Service by walking 100 laps of his garden during the country's first COVID lockdown last year. His fundraising efforts won the country's hearts, and he was knighted by the Queen in July. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson said on Tuesday that the Queen sent a private message of condolence to the family of Tom Moore. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson also sent his condolences to Moore's family. Number 10 Downing Street will lower the flag to half-mast in tribute to him, reported BBC. Moore passed away as the total number of coronavirus cases in the country stood at 3,852,623 on Tuesday. The anti-COVID fight he backed last year is still going on in Britain. England is currently under the third national lockdown since the outbreak of the pandemic in the country. Similar restriction measures are also in place in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. To bring life back to normal, countries such as Britain, China, Germany, Russia, and the United States have been racing against time to roll out coronavirus vaccines. Amazon said on Tuesday that Jeff Bezos is stepping down as CEO later this year, a role he's had since he founded the firm almost 30 years ago. The online company said he'll be replaced in the fall of 2021 by Andy Jassy, who currently runs Amazon's cloud business. Once he relinquishes his position, Bezos will become the Seattle-based firm's executive chairman. Jassy joined Amazon just days after his final MBA exam at Harvard Business School in 1997. Although Amazon is best known for its e-commerce, the US tech giant's web service division, AWS, has become the world's dominant cloud provider, with Jassy at the helm since he founded the platform in 2006. Industry analysts have estimated that revenue generated by AWS will reach $71 billion in 2022, which would give the division a valuation of about $350 billion. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Now for some sports stories. The International Cricket Council on Tuesday announced the nominees for the inaugural ICC Player of the Month Awards, which recognize and celebrate the best performance across all forms of international cricket throughout the year. For the Men's Player of the Month January, India's Rishabh Pant, England's Joe Root and Ireland's Paul Stirling have been nominated, while for the Women's Player of the Month, Pakistan's Diana Baig, South Africa's Shabnam Ismail and Marzipan Kapp have been nominated. The 3 nominees for each of the categories are shortlisted based on on-field performances and overall achievements during the period of that month. That is the first day to the last day of each calendar month. This shortlist is then voted on by the independent ICC Voting Academy and fans around the world. The ICC Voting Academy comprises prominent members of the cricket family, including senior journalists, former players and broadcasters, and some members of the ICC Hall of Fame. The Indian cricket team finally began their net session on Tuesday ahead of the upcoming 4-match test series against England beginning January 5th in Chennai. Head coach Ravi Shastri welcomed the entire squad by giving a rousing speech, and then the entire team hit the nets to prepare for the series. The Virat Kohli-led Indian squad had their first outdoor training session on Monday ahead of the first test against England. 3 RT-PCR tests for coronavirus were conducted at regular intervals, and all the Indian players were tested negative. The hosts were then cleared to begin their net session from Tuesday as they had completed 6-day quarantine. Meanwhile, the England squad also returned negative results in their 3rd coronavirus test done on Sunday and is out of quarantine. The Joe Root-led squad will begin training later today at MA Chidambaram Stadium. The England squad will practice for the first time as a full group for 3 hours later to get into the groove ahead of the 4-match test series. Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer and Rory Burns began their training for the first test against India on Saturday. India and England are set to lock horns in 4 tests, 3 ODIs and 5 T20Is. The first 2 games of the test series will be played in Chennai before the cricketers move to Ahmedabad for the 3rd and 4th test. Meanwhile, the second test between India and England at the MA Chidambaram Stadium, slated to begin from February 13th, will have 50% crowd in attendance. Tamil Nadu Cricket Association TNCA Secretary R.S. Ramasamy confirmed on Monday. Those were our local, international and sports stories. We'll be back with midday updates, so stay tuned.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.